Today we'll be reviewing One Way by Jeff Lane. It's our book club's February 2021 Book of the Month. One Way is a novel written by Jeff Lane, published in 2013. There are plans to adapt the book into a movie, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. Let's start off with the synopsis. Now, if you want to go into this book totally blind, go ahead and skip ahead. Barry Griffith doesn't know it yet, but tonight is the night fate has chosen to be the night of his death, his murder. At a gas station in the middle of nowhere, late at night, his wife Jenny appears. No car, no coat, and looking older than when he saw her last. That's because this is not the woman he received a goodbye kiss from this morning. This woman has been a widow for over 4 years and has made an impossible journey back in time to try and stop her husband's murder. Will they be able to escape the killers, or does fate only have one plan, one possible outcome, one way? Before we get into the review portion of the video, I want to be fully transparent and let everyone know that when we first started our book club, we were advertising it on Twitter. And Mr. Lane contacted me and offered a free digital version of any one of his books to anyone who joined our book club. And that was to help our book club out and help us get new people into it and try and make it attractive for new members. I did purchase 2 physical copies for myself and my wife, and I also purchased a Kindle version so I can read it on the go when I'm not carrying my book around. A couple of other members did purchase the book also on their own just to support the author, and a few other people did take advantage of the free copy, which was very generous. And I want to thank Mr. Lane again for offering a free copy and helping our book club grow in members. So when I first started looking into this book, I saw it described as a lot of different genres, and turns out it is all those genres. I would say it's a science fiction, mystery, thriller, crime, love story, and even a little bit of survival horror. It's almost as if I can compare it to anything, it'd be Lost.
We have to go back, Kate.
With Quantum Leap, with the movie Looper, with a little bit of slasher, and a love story mixed in that big bowl. So let's start with what I liked. The story jumps back and forth between different characters and different points in time in the story. So each chapter will jump to a different character and a different perspective. So you see the same event from different pairs of eyes and different ways of experiencing it. It sounds jarring, but it's actually done really well, and it keeps you on the edge of your seat through each chapter. I cared about the characters. Each character had its own identity, and when they felt pain or they were suffering or when they were going through emotions, you really felt it. The story gets off to a really fast start, and it keeps you in suspense throughout the whole book. It moves at a really nice pace, and each chapter ends with a perfect cliffhanger for the next chapter, and you don't want to put the book down. There's a few character sequences in the book that are really heartfelt and really emotional, and it makes you wonder what you would do in that position. The villains in this book are really well done. It's chilling to hear their thought process as you swap back and forth between different characters. It's chilling to hear their inner thoughts and what motivates them. And as crazy as they are, you start to wonder if there's other powers at play. I also want to mention that there are acts of violence perpetrated in this book, but they're not detailed. So if you're worried about gore or over-the-top violence, it's not here. And I'm glad that it wasn't here, and I don't mind that sort of thing, but it wouldn't have fit in this book. So I'm glad it wasn't included. I'm glad it was just alluded to and not detailed. So let's get into a couple things I didn't like. There are a couple of action scenes that I had to go back and reread a couple of the sentences before, just to make sure that I understood exactly what happened. I did find a couple of instances where the incorrect word was used, or I did find one point where punctuation was missing, which isn't a huge deal for me. In fact, I kind of get an odd satisfaction out of that. I'm that jerk that has the red pen and that they bring documents to at work who marks it up. So I get a kick out of that kind of thing. The characters do make some of those classic action/horror movie mistakes, so it's something really wrong with the story. It's just one of those things that can be irritating from time to time. But then again, if you're invested in the characters and that kind of thing irritates you because you're rooting for them, it's not really a bad thing. Let's go ahead and move on to the final thoughts and rating. I'm a relatively slow reader. I try and take my time, I try and stop and smell the roses and get every word in, I try and not miss anything. But this book is a page turner. I could not put this book down. Every chapter would end at the perfect time to keep you hooked, and you didn't want to miss what happened next. The book is full of characters and story, but not so much that it weighs the story down. With any story involving time travel, things can get a little bit messy.
Do you know what's gonna happen? You done all this already? As me?
I don't want to talk about time travel. Because if we start talking about it, then we're going to be here all day talking about it, making diagrams with straws.
But I thought it was really well done here and thought-provoking. The story has a lot of twists and turns, and it does keep you at the edge of your seat the entire time. It is one of those just one more chapter before sleep kind of books. The characters are likable and relatable, and the villains are awful. I see people shy away from books like this because they hear it's a love story, but this is not that kind of love story. It's more of a thought-provoking journey into what would you be willing to do to prevent something from happening to someone you love. What would you be willing to sacrifice to prevent something awful from happening to someone you love? The last line of this book is a perfect fade to black, play music, roll credits. And I hope to see more from this world. So for my rating, I'm going to give One Way 4 chrono detachments out of 5. So I mentioned at the beginning of the video there are plans to adapt this book into a movie. And while most of the photography is done, there are some reshoots that are needed. And in speaking with Mr. Lane, he let me know that there are plans to finish the movie, and I hope that we get to see it someday. I'm going to include a link down below with a portion of that movie. It's just a quick scene. If you want to avoid spoilers, do not click on that link, do not watch the video. But I'm super excited, and I really hope we get to see that movie and see this book come to life. So if you've read this book and you want to discuss it with us, we do have a forum thread open for it with a spoiler tag so it hides all the spoilers. And if this book sounds like a book you're wanting to read, Mr. Lane is still offering a free digital version of this book for anyone who joins our book club. So if that's something you're interested in, go ahead and join our book club. I'll add the links below. Join the book club, PM me your email address, and I can forward that over and get you the version of your choice. I had a lot of fun with this book. It is a fun, fast read full of story, but not heavy and weighed down. I want to thank Mr. Lane again for offering a free copy of his book to our book club members, and thank you for watching the review. If you'd like to get in touch with me or want to chat with us on our forums, we'll have all the links down below. I hope this review was helpful to you, and thank you for spending a few minutes of your day with me. I'll talk to you soon.